In the last months, I've been working on a book about the Reformation, and today I want to share a chapter from it. It's called The Reformation Causes and Beginning. This period of history has shaped my own faith deeply, and I hope this reading encourages you as well too. If you enjoy this chapter, you can get the full book on Amazon. The link is in the description. So let's read. The Middle Ages had come to an end, and in its place arose the Renaissance, an age that awoken a renewed fascination with beauty, with ancient manuscripts, and with the study of classical languages such as Greek. After the fall of Constantinople in 100 in 4053, many scholars fled to Western Europe, bringing with them ancient texts and precocious knowledge. This influx gave powerful momentum to humanism and to new spiritual guests. At the same time, within the church itself, decline was evident. The papacy had become more of a political power than a spiritual ministry. The Babylonian captivity of the popes in Avignon in 13th century and the Great Western Schism had severely undermined the church credibility and authority. Moral decay had also reached the monastic communities once seen as strongholds of piety, where monks served as example for bishops and priests. Monasteries had grown corrupt. Abbots very often appointed from among relatives or political favorites who held feasts and linked like nobles. Moral laxity also crept into women's convents. Some nuns bore illegitimately children, and such births were often hidden through tragic means, and they were forbidden to remain in the cloister with infants. This shocking hypocrisy because the target of public ridicule, satire, and caricature. Society increasingly saw that the church had lost its spiritual authority and had become little different from the secular powers of the age. Yet, amid this decline, new opportunities emerged. The invention of the printing press in the mid 15th century became one of the greatest precursors of the Reformations. Where the copying of manuscripts had once required teams of scribes and single press could now produce thousands of identical copies. Books and titles could be spread rapidly and without textual corruption, and their ideas reach more people than ever before. Again, the backdrop of the church crisis, humanists thought through spiritual renewal. It is important to understand that the humanistics of that time were not secular thinkers in the modern sense, but scholars of the humanists who looked back to the wisdom of antiquity. Desiderius Erasmus of Rotterdam, who lives in 15th century, one of the greatest intellectuals of his age, lived to see the dawn of the Reformation. He published a Greek edition of the New Testament, calling for moral purification and a return to the source of the Christian faith. Many were also drawn to the Stoicism and classical philosophy. People longed for spirituality, yet could not find it. in the official church, which too often encourage indulgence rather than holiness. The tension in society grew. Then, in 1517, a defining event occurred. An Augustinian monk named Martin Luther nailed his 95th thesis of the door of the castle church in the Wittenberg, a bold protest against the abuse surrounding the sale of indulgence. But before we speaking of that moment, let us look at Luther's life. Thank you for listening. If this chapter encouraged you or sparked your interest in the Reformation, the full book is available on Amazon. The link is below. And if you'd like to hear more chapters or more history content, just let me know in the comments. Grace and peace. See you on my next video. Bye.